I don't know if y'all heard, and I am not an expert. I'm still learning facts about what happened as it's happening, okay? But this whole like Signal group chat thing is one of the... It's truly one of the more insane stories I've seen in a while. Because look, let's be clear with one another, okay? I can only pass so much judgment because I'm not good with two things: phones and secrets. Don't tell me a secret. Don't. You know, I try to be a good friend, and sometimes being a good friend comes with people trusting you with their secrets, and I wish they wouldn't. I really wish they wouldn't, because okay, as an example, I have a friend who she went to Barbados, and I don't think she was drinking or anything, but they drive on the other side of the road and stuff, and she came back from that trip. I try to be a good friend. I asked her how her day's going. I asked her what her trip was like, you know, just inquiring about her life, trying to make a memory together. Oh, it wasn't so funny when I told you that story about ha ha ha, right? And so sure enough, I asked her, how was the trip? And she looking shell shocked. She like, huh. I'm like, hey, you okay? What happened? And she was like, I was driving at night and I forgot which side of the road I was supposed to be on. I just felt a thump, and then I didn't know what to do, so I just kept driving, and now I just know that. Even if I wanted to turn her in, I don't know who to call or anything. I'm like, hey, anybody hit recently by a woman driving on the wrong side of the road? And not only do I not know what to do with that, because I was trying to be a good friend, I was trying to listen, right? That was a mistake. Not only do I just know that now, but I just told all of you. Like, don't trust me with a secret. I'm also not great with phones. I'm really not. It's embarrassing. You know, I have Gen Z friends who look at me like I'm super old because I don't know what anything is. And then it doesn't help that anytime they helping me download a new app or get on a new game or something, I don't know what happens to you. I used to judge people that were older than me so hard, but I don't know what happens to you when a young person is showing you something and you just can't seem to keep your mouth closed. They're showing me how to do it, and I'm like, uh-huh. I'm not old enough for tongue yet, but that's coming, you know? I used to show my granddad stuff. He'd be like, oh. Ain't no way. And so they're showing me how to use stuff on my own phone. I can't keep my mouth closed, so I know I'm not good with phones. Okay? I be handling my phone. You'd be ashamed of me. You saw me on a day with my phone, flashlight on half the time. Out here struggling, wondering why the battery died. They don't make them like they used to. They don't make them at all like these. I also talk about how they used to make phones. That's how I know I'm also getting older. I remember other phones. They don't make them like they used. That battery used to last through the full week. Meanwhile, I'm spotlighting my feet. Look like my feet are on patrol. No, it's insane. And so they're showing me stuff with the phone. I'll be honest with you, I didn't know what Signal was. When I saw the story break and I saw that all of these higher-ups, all these people who are supposed to be handling sensitive information at all times, classified information at all times, were using Signal. They were using the Signal app. In my head, this is how bad it is. In my head, I was like, well, didn't the government isn't that the government app? Like, weren't they just using the government app? And then someone explained to me that Signal is just like American WhatsApp. And I was like, oh, that is bad. That is bad. I'm all for modernization, too. I'm all for keeping things as modern as possible and learning new stuff. I love when these Gen Z kids are. Yeah, that is a loud one. I was trying to. I didn't know what would be ruder. You know what I mean? Like, because I almost said bless you, but then I was like gonna call attention to it. But y'all are like too polite. That is crazy. I was gonna try to talk a little louder, gloss over it and everything, but y'all really at home together. I think that's beautiful that y'all could be like in the mezzanine. Bless you. Yeah. No, I genuinely, when they're showing me stuff, I really appreciate it. I enjoy learning new things and everything. Sometimes I'm intimidated by how much I don't know about a program, but baby steps, you learn stuff. And when I heard that they were doing all this stuff on Signal, I was like, maybe that's too modern. Whatever happened to a phone call? Jeremy, in the movies, aren't they always on the phone doing this? Where they're like, yeah, strike. Like that. You get taken less seriously as a country when you over here calling bomb strikes with emojis. Do you know what I mean? When they make the movie of America Now and you're in it, you don't want to be in it going bloop, 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 bloop. Because everybody old, so they got the phone on loud, and so it's all there. You know, because you keep it on loud when you type in when you old and everything. I do. Anyway, like, yeah. You know what I mean? Way less badass than like, yes, okay. 1,600 hours, all right. Mission go. Like that's at least in that Top Gun Maverick world. Imagine, when I saw Top Gun Maverick, I was like, I get it now. I get it. A part of me was like, I get it. And Top Gun Maverick did a great job of like not saying which country they were killing people from or anything exactly. You know it's kind of Russian, but like, is it really? And then sure enough, John Hamm standing there. That last sequence. They about to fly off that mission. You worried about Tom Cruise and everything. It's like, hey, these kids are his responsibility, you know? You worried about Rooster. Is he gonna rise to the occasion, you know? He gonna feel his daddy's footsteps. And then John Hamm standing there, arms crossed, and he just goes, send them. That is wild. Imagine if that movie was just John Hamm being like, tick, 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 bloop. I'm sorry, I'm getting a call real quick. Oh, they got away. And so there's all the talk around it as well. It's so hard to understand any story that comes out now because the spin is as fast as we disseminate the information. You know? So as soon as we were even hearing about this, there were people that were like, actually, they leaked that on purpose. They added this journalist to the group chat on purpose so that they could look like such a cohesive administration, and then he would leak it, and then they'd be like, yeah, we all friends. Because if you're not familiar with what happened, there was a strike that was being planned in Yemen, right? And there's a journalist that accidentally got added to the group chat, and the people in the group chat are like J.D. Vance and some heads of like intelligence and Pete Hegseth and stuff like that. And no one at first was really owning up to who added him. We later find out that I'm pretty sure Walls added him, and This journalist didn't even think that it was real. It was so dumb. When it happened, this dude, you know, I'm assuming, because he's also a bit older. No. And he said he didn't know it was real until they actually bombed Yemen. And then he, you know, comes forward with, hey, they sent me these plans. He had already left the group as well. When he realized, yeah, I mean, you're not supposed to be in the room. In the room like, oh. Let me go ahead and notify the right people. Because I've been added to a group chat before that I wasn't supposed to be in. It happens, you know? You just type in these random numbers, add people to the chat. One time, I was chilling on a Saturday. Because I'm also. Open it up, and it's just like 6 numbers. And just one text. So they clearly just started it. And it says, you coming? I could have been a good person. I could have let them know, hey, everybody, wrong person in here. I don't recognize any of these numbers. I don't think y'all know me. But have a blessed day. But I didn't do that. That day, evil did win. And so, you know, you coming. We're waiting on you, right? And so I was like, trying to make up my mind. And then they text back in all caps, what? With an exclamation point and a question mark and an exclamation point. What? And I was like, yeah, I'm not sure about it. I don't know if I feel like it today. And they were like, we are all waiting on you. We're all waiting on you right now, right? And I was like, yeah, okay, let me get things together. And sure enough, I was watching TV and I forgot that I was doing this, so some time did pass. And finally I got another text. I was like, hello, all caps, question mark, question mark, question mark. So they mad. And I was like, oh, sorry, traffic. And they text back, traffic with a question mark. I'm like, yeah, it's crazy out here. And then they text back, aren't you upstairs? And admittedly, that was too big of a swing to take, you know? So I was like, oh, yeah, you know, I meant traffic, like, in my mind. Like, I'm just, there's just too much going on right now. And they were like, come down here now, right? And then I text back, what if I don't feel like it? then they text me, we've been waiting on you, only you, this entire time, and the wedding is in an hour and a half. And so I text back, I don't love him, right? And I see bubbles, right? I see the 3 bubbles going. That bubble is furious. It's disappearing a little bit, whoop, and then like coming right back. So in my head, they cursing me out, right? And then it finally comes through, and it's just 3 letters. It's, who? And I was like, okay, thank goodness. That was too big of a swing to take. I'm glad that I'm not the bride. And I still don't know who I am in the group. And so now I'm like, hey, because now I'm curious. Now I'm more curious than I am worried about being caught. And genuinely, I was like, why didn't they just, like, if we in the same house, why didn't they just yell? Like, why didn't they? Like, most families would just be like, come on down. Why are you texting? So then I text, don't even respond to the who. I just text, how big is our house? Because to me, this must be the Home Alone house. If they are texting me, and I've been upstairs this entire time, and they waiting this long, it must be such a big house. No one can be bothered to walk up. And they text back, how big is our house? With a question mark. I'm like, yeah, how big is it? And then they text, are you not at your apartment? I was like, okay, downstairs does make sense now. It makes sense why they wouldn't come up. Okay, I get you. Everybody is on point except for me. I understand now. And so then I text back, look, yeah, I've thought about it. I've thought it over. And I just don't feel like coming, right? Quickly text back, it is your sister's wedding and you will support her. And I text back, nah, dog, right? And I knew I messed up because they tried to call me, right? Finally, I had to be like, okay, look, I'm not your relative with a question mark. I'm just like a random guy. I was just joking. But yeah, you should probably text whoever you think you're texting because they were very late. And then I just see bubbles, gone, bubbles, gone, bubbles, gone, bubbles, gone. And I know I'm getting cussed out. Like, it's bubbles, gone, And then finally the message comes through and it says, I don't have time to deal with you today. But please believe when I have the time, I will be addressing you thoroughly. I've never heard a threat like that before. Thoroughly. And so I text back, you text me. So when it comes to the signal chat, I'm just glad it didn't happen to me. Because I would have made things infinitely worse. They would have been like, we're go for strike in Yemen. I'm like, hey. Y'all ever ate there though? Like, some good spots. Why don't we just let the plane take a day off? Like, chill. They'd be like, who is this? And I'd be like, y'all text me, all right? Asking me who this is. That's like one of the top 5 Southern pet peeves is like calling the wrong number. And you called the wrong number. And then you're like, who is this? And they're like, you called me. Explain yourself. Who are you? You the one in my house right now with your voice. You're the intruder. Explain yourself. And so, you know, there's this whole thing. We still don't even know the half of it, of what's been going on with Signal, because we also don't know how long they've been using Signal. We don't know why they weren't using more secure methods. And then through, I'm pretty sure, a German publication, they find that some of the top brass in the government are being so unserious with their data that they were able to deliver messages just from personal emails, old emails, and I don't know, man, this is pretty bad. You know what I mean? I didn't recognize how bad it was, and I think a lot of the general public don't really feel like it was that bad, because people say it's a successful mission. That's why some people think the leak was on purpose, because it's like all they did was leak a successful mission. And it's like, morality aside, of what a successful mission means for a country that, I don't know, like, has anybody checked? Are we at war with Yemen? I don't know. Mission success, like, but you bombed, why? You didn't even explain why. I feel like no one's even asking why. They're just like, man, do you see that they text the wrong number? And so you have these people appearing before Congress getting grilled by Democrats, which just doesn't really mean much, if we're being honest. It's like, getting grilled by Democrats is like getting grilled by a step parent. It's like, you're not my real... But what are you gonna do though? What are you gonna do about it? It's like the first time you get big enough to really step to your dad, and you know you should do it, but you're like, what you gonna do though? I'll show you how to use your phone, old man. I'm training you now. We the same height. No, it's truly devastating. It's bad because never mind the fact that there are so many leaks, so many breaches, so much hacking going on, but there are still, like, you know, potentially entities from other countries that have infiltrated through other hacks that we forgot about because we get hacked so much we don't really care. I knew a dude when I was growing up that had his house robbed so much he moved and didn't tell anybody, but left some of the stuff so they would only rob that place. Bit by bit, consistently. And it feels like that's what we do with our data. We're like, they're gonna get it, let's just parcel it out. You know? And so you see these officials appear before Congress, and people all of a sudden are getting a very abstract interpretation of what war plans are. Because they're being asked point blank by journalists, like, were those war plans? And they were like, For a group that I'm telling you, I'm positive despises poetry majors. I know for a fact you hate liberal arts, but when they asked you to your face that they were war plans, it's like, what is truly? What is truly an outline of actions, if not enacted upon? Be fit for me? To speak truly of what war is. Does war not start in the soul? War as a concept is all around us. Love is war. Pain is war. Life is truly war. Yeah, but the text message where they said the date and the time and where the pilot was gonna be are those war plans. What does it mean to have a plan, you know? As Mike Tyson once said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. As the old Southern proverb goes, if you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans. Got asked in front of Congress point blank. This was a huge mistake, right? I'm pretty sure it was Walls, maybe it was somebody else, but he was like, no. All right, bro. Okay, do you? Oh. Because I wish I knew enough about how intelligence works, and I wish that I knew enough about how strikes work to explain fully how bad this is. But I think we know. I think we as a society kind of know as soon as you hear the whole story, like, that doesn't sound great. You wouldn't want someone to plan a surprise party like that. Imagine. Your friends try to get you together, and they talking about you so much that one of your friends accidentally adds you, and it's like, well, he's right here. Doesn't that kind of ruin the entire party? No. It's so much around phones that people don't understand. There was one thing, I didn't understand this until recently. I didn't know that you don't know, you have no idea who you are to a woman until you know how you're saved in her phone. Guys, every man in here, we are not ready for the names, for the shorthand. You know how when you save a name, it goes first, last, company? They using that line too. We are not ready to find out how we are saved in the phone. Telling, that's what telling is. I wish I was wrong. I wish it was just me. I wish it was just me getting bullied in other women's phones. These are my friends. These are people I've known for years, and then they saved me some type of way and just never changed it. Years ago, this is why I first had a hunch. Years ago, I was with a friend, and we were hanging out. This has to be like 12, maybe even 15 years ago. We were hanging out, and she lost her phone. So she was like, can you call it for me? And so I call it. And look, we had never been romantic, you know? And we had decided a long time ago to just be friends, right? You know, and just calling. I'm hearing a little... And then I find it in between the couch cushions, and my name saved at her phone was Nope. Guys, we're not ready. There's no world where we're ready for how we are saved. And okay, all right. Some of them are so accurate as well that it's like you'll never recover. Okay, I had a friend who, she was hooking up with this guy, and I guess it was a running joke between her and her friends. This is insane. To me, this is insane. It's not my joke. This is what I saw. This is what I saw because I was being nosy, because I was like, I can't be the only one. I needed to not be the only one, because nope lasted. That stayed with me, okay? So I was like, let me see what other people are saying, right? And they say this one guy in her phone, and it just said, Little Hitler. And I was like, can you please explain why Little Hitler is calling you right now? Their reasoning for naming, their reasoning was he had kind of a comb over that was a little messy. I was like, hey, you went straight to Hitler? What's wrong with y'all? There was one time where I was out to lunch with a friend, and her phone was going off, and it was facing up, and I wasn't trying to be nosy this time. I felt vindicated. Nope, it's not Hitler. And so I was like, it could be worse. And so her phone was going off, and then finally she went ahead and flipped it. But when she flipped it, she showed it for a second, and I looked, and it said in the phone, saved in her phone as bed bugs. And so I was like, I'm not trying to be in your business or anything. I'm not trying to. I saw when you flipped it over, because you had flipped it. Because I wasn't looking until you flipped it, until it was like this, and I was like, what's that over there? And so I didn't see until you flipped it that you had him say do you know who is bed bugs? And she was like, just this guy. I was like, does he have bed bugs? And no. He doesn't have bed bugs at his place. She called him bed bugs because she slept with him one time and can't get rid of him. And so when Walls is like, hey, sometimes people get added to the group chat under a different name, under a wrong name. Hadn't that ever happened to you? And then the nation was kind of like, no, I don't think it has. Not like that, not exactly, unless you have them saved different. You know what I mean? Unless you have this journalist saved as like war buddy. I don't know why you would accidentally add him to the chat. It's one of the first major screw-ups of the administration where they themselves are actually like, uh-oh. Oh no. Look, we didn't add him by accident, because I don't know if you saw this, but we didn't add him by accident, okay? He hacked in. Yeah, this dude hacked in. They ran with it for a day, and then it died. Because when you look at the journalist, I'm not trying to make fun of him, but he doesn't look like he really hacking like that. Like that. I know he got glasses, but not everybody with glasses hacks, all right? Jeez. And so now, they've been ordered by a judge to provide all of these backdated signal chats that they're definitely gonna delete. Like, when I heard that, I was like, oh, come on now. That's like in one of those sitcoms, and the woman asked the guy for his phone, and he's like, yeah, just give me 20 minutes. It's like, yeah, that's what they're gonna do. No, it's insane. And it's like, successful mission, but by what metric? Why did we bomb Yemen? I still don't know. I mean, I would keep asking, but I'd probably disappear. Curiosity killed me. And then when they were asked, like, okay, but you're definitely switching things up now, right? Like, you've learned from this mistake, and you're gonna move on, and you're not gonna use Signal anymore. And they, under, I think, oath, went, nah, dawg, nah. Pretty bad. Speaking of honeymoons ending, this Jonathan Majors. Wow. There's so much about it, so you just be patient with me. I've been waiting to even talk about it because I wanted to learn as much as I could. I'm still missing stuff. Admittedly, I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to get this right. There's so much media around it. I don't even mean coverage. I mean actual media. There's a tape of him being recorded. There's CCTV of them. There's a lot going. There's body cam footage. There's a lot to distill. I felt like I was part of the jury. You know what I mean? I was like, damn, how do I stay impartial? All of this looks so bad. You know what I mean? Like, you take the CCTV alone. We don't know what happened in the car, but apparently in the car is when she scratched up his face and it's when he hurt her finger. All we see is a CCTV of him getting out the car and then her trying to get out the car, right? Because in this moment, she's discovered that he's cheating, all right? So now he's trying to get out of the car, she's trying to get out of the car. He picks her up and puts her back in the car like a toddler, right? Like he just sort of lifts her up and is like, there, right? And then this man took off. He ran. He ran like it was the full caution sign. That's the last time I've seen somebody have a foot that high and a head that forward. And my man was over here like, huh, like he just fully running. And that's how you can tell he cheated too, because he running like a cheater. He running like, no, I gotta get out of here. I can't be here right now. She saw a text message, you know? And then she took off and she ran after him. And she caught up. And that shocked me. She caught up. This nigga trained for Creed 3, and she caught up in heels like it was nothing. That's crazy. I didn't know getting cheated on gave you superpowers, because this dude is booking it, and she right behind him, clickety-clacking it in those heels, trying to get that phone, right? And so then you just see another CCTV angle, and you see him running the other way. And this time it's scarier, because this time she not running. This time she's stalking him like Jason, just... And she a little drunk too, so she looked like she gonna fall. I'm like, he really didn't need to run anymore, but clearly he did. She still caught up to him. This man ran his knees off, and she just over here... And then they run into like 3 random people, and then she did the thing that I think a lot of people do when they're in like the midst of like, maybe they're a little drunk, they just found out they got cheated on or something's going on in their relationship or something. So she meets these 3 people who don't know them, who do not, I cannot stress that enough, who do not seem to know them at all. And she's like, well, fuck you, I'm gonna hang out with my new friends. And then she just becomes these 3 people's problem. And then John Majors seemed to walk off, right? Seemed to just walk off into the night. So it's like that, take that video alone, right? It's hard to decide how you feel about that. Because in my mind, I'm just being honest, right? Just hear me out. In my mind, I don't know what else he should have done. Because everything he should have done happened before that night. He shouldn't have cheated. If he didn't cheat, maybe none of this would have happened. But he cheated. I'm saying in the night in question, in this moment, he runs. He's out of cardio. Like, this is... Like, she clearly should have played Apollo Creed. If she tuckered him out that easy, then you go to the next day. Because the next day is when he finds her in the closet. Yeah. This dude comes home, and he finds her in the closet, and look, Jonathan Majors is too big and black to find any white woman. That's astounding. The fact that because now he's the one that called the cops. To my understanding, he's the one that called cops being like, hey, that's the only time I've seen someone call the cops, and you can hear it in his voice where he's like, I'm gonna need you to sit down. Before you send anybody, I need you to hear the full sentences I'm saying, because this is gonna look bad, right? And then the cops come, and then they lift her up and everything, and someone can correct me. I don't know what happened in this particular part. It seems like she came home and she was like maybe changing or whatever, and then fell asleep in the closet because it's like a walk-in closet. I don't really know what happened there. But then you hear Jonathan talk about it in an interview that he shouldn't have done. This interview was a bad idea. I'm not saying I would have any good ideas if I was him, but I'm just saying this interview was pretty bad because they ask him, how she sustained those injuries to her finger and all and stuff like that. And then Jonathan Majors says, I wish to God I knew. Nigga, you were there. Like, I know you don't think you did it, but like, whatever. So then, in the interview, they're cutting between his interview and then pieces about him. They're using scenes from him in movies. And then they use a recording where he is arguing with her, right? And this is a big thing for me. This is a huge thing. And I hope it doesn't spill out into the rest of the world because a lot of celebrities do it. And I pray that we don't get to the point where we're doing it. If you need to secretly record anyone you are dating, break up with them. Please. Because this is my thing. Say what you want about her, say what you want about him. They clearly had a toxic dynamic. They had a bad dynamic from what seems like the start, right? And so for her to be recording him secretly means that she knows something's up with him. So leave, leave. And I'm not saying leave as if it's easy. I'm not saying leave as in you should just always feel safe to leave. I'm just saying you need to start coming up with an exit strategy, because then the recording is one of the worst recordings. It feels like right out of Law and Order, the recording. The recording is so damn bad. Okay, so basically, I don't really know the context of the recording. It sounds like from the recording that she came home drunk or she was acting up drunk or something like that, which apparently in their dynamic she had been known to do, right? So there's some, I don't even know if this is true, that maybe this is hearsay, but there was some instance where, out of nowhere, one of the reasons a lot of people told him to break up with her is that she was drunk at a party one time. They had some sort of argument, and she hauled off and slapped him in front of everybody, right? In front of everybody at the party, and like a real, like telegraphed the whole shit. I couldn't believe he got hit. I was like, all that Creed 3, and you don't know how to box? You over here just eating shots? That's crazy. That's boxing 101. Somebody does this, you do this. I'm not even a fighter and I know that. I'm just saying, she, whatever. I don't know what actually happened. All I know is the recording starts with him being like, listen, I'm doing a lot right now. I'm doing a lot for my people. I'm doing a lot for the culture. I am a great man. Give me a second. I think I can honestly say in a lot of relationships I've watched, especially like just straight relationships, there is a point where a guy feels not even saying it's right, underappreciated for being maybe even a good boyfriend or good husband, right? And they will say something to try to stick up for how they feel in the moment. They'll be like, look, I'm a great guy. Most guys aren't like me out there. You know, they'll say something to try to save it. And in the moment, it always doesn't, it never sounds the way it's like in your head, it sounds like it's evening the playing field. Like in your head, you're like, I can't believe you're coming down on me so hard. I'm a good boyfriend. I'm a great boyfriend. You know that? I'm such a good boyfriend. Your friends say I'm a great boyfriend to you when they don't think I can hear it, and I hear it, and I take that to the moon, and I'm using it now. That's what it sounds like in our head. What it sounds like out loud when you're in the middle of an argument is, I'm a great man. The fact that he actually said, I am a great man. And look, I don't know what it's like to date either one of them. I'm just going off of what we've seen and what I've seen that has happened, right? I don't know what it's like to date either one. I'm just saying, I can see how you're in the moment and you really think you're cooking. But it should be a sign to you that the person that you're like just going off on is saying nothing. And look, if I'm being honest with you, when I listen to that recording, I do think it's a little bit of a setup because she says nothing, right? And you can tell she a little drunk too, because the only thing you can hear is like him being like, I'm a great man, and her be like, you know what I mean? Like if you listen real close, you can hear a couple hiccups. I'm not saying that gives him the right to be over here. I'm a great man, you know, like. And look, to be fair, maybe she was just recording him because he kept telling her to be like Coretta, and she had no fucking idea what that meant. She's like, I'm a white woman that was born in the UK. I don't know how to connect these two things. Be more like Coretta. And then in the interview, he's like, look, when I said that, I wasn't comparing myself to Dr. King. I was just trying to say that these are the people I aspire to be. And so if I'm gonna get there, I need someone like her to help me get there. And I'm like, all right, but you did say Coretta. Like, you know what I mean? It'd be different if he was just like, I need you to do better. I need you to do better sounds, outside looking in, sounds completely fair. I need you to do better. I need you to do better than getting drunk at functions that I'm with that I'm trying to network. I need you to do better than slapping me in my face in front of a bunch of people. I just need you to do better. There's a huge amount of middle ground. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, it would be like my girlfriend being like, listen, you do not help enough around the house. I get that you tour, I get that you have shows at night, but I need your help around the house, all right? So when you're about to go, just take the trash out with you. That's a simple thing that you can do. Just take the trash out with you. Just do a little better. She didn't say, I need you to be Malcolm X. Do you see the difference? It's also just, I don't know. That the thing that really bothers me about Jonathan Majors is that he didn't make it. He made it. All this happened after he made it. And it's so hard. And like even take away for a second being a black actor. Take away for a second where he comes from. It's hard in general. This is like the NFL of drama. And he made it. And then this happens, you know? And he has nobody to blame but himself. Just like, it's a lesson to all of us. If there's something that you want more than anything else, you cannot let other things get in the way of that thing, especially when they don't bring you anything good, you know? And some people made it purely about race. I don't think that Jonathan Majors is a lesson that you need to date within your own race. I think he's a lesson you need to date within your own weight class, because the optics are terrible, all right? Jonathan Majors is 34 years old. Jonathan Majors is 34. That blew my mind. He's 34. We're closer in age than I ever thought. He's 34. And he doesn't look 34. That man looked 46 from 1958. Every time I see Jonathan Majors, I'm like, he should be in sepia tone. And people, and look, I want to be clear for a second. A lot of people had a weird, and I'm talking about outside of all this stuff before any of it ever happened. A lot of people had a weird hate for him that I didn't understand, and they went out of their way to call him ugly, and they went out of their way to just like go at his features and stuff like that. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just saying he does look like a time traveler, all right? Like, if he told me he knew Dr. King personally and that he had a time machine, I'd be like, no wonder you want everybody to be like a Coretta. You know her so well.
Did y'all? Okay. I'm trying to figure out how I feel about it. I guess what I thought would happen happened, but, you know, that whole Epstein list came out. I know, right? And it was pretty underwhelming. Like, they were like, dropping the list January 2nd. And then January 2nd came and they were like, sorry, January 3rd. And then they dropped the list and everyone was like, just mouth-watering on Twitter, everywhere. Everybody was like, Jesus, list, it's gonna shake up the world. You know, and everything's gonna change after this list comes out. And then the list came out, and a couple people we thought were on it. And then when I saw the rest of the list, I was like, oh, that's right. I don't know any rich people. That's my bad. I don't really move in the circles for this to be a scandal. Because any name on the list that wasn't already a celebrity, I have no idea who that is. It could be the head of a bank. I don't know. Whoops. It's very interesting. It is also, I guess, a bit weird because if you on that list, if your name just came out, it's kind of weird because you really can't die now. Like, you really got to hold it together for quite a while, or else if you die, they're gonna be like, he was a bigger part of it. It's like, oh, jeez. No, it's a weird list. It's a weird gathering of people. You know what I mean? And not everybody went to the island. I'm not taking up for anybody because, once again, I don't know them. But some of them, a part of me feels a little bit bad for because they took a trip when the jet was going in the other direction. You know what I mean? Like, the jet goes to the island, but then the jet might go from New York to Philadelphia real quick, and then David Copperfield's like, I ain't got shit to do with this. What the... Motherfuckers asked me to come over and do some tricks. And then they dropped me off in Indianapolis. I had a show. No. It is weird, though. I think the thing that scares me most about the list and our response to it was that we thought the list would have everyone that we know on it. But what were we gonna do about it? Do you know what I mean? Like, think about that really. Like, we thought all of these, like, celebrities would be on the list. It's like, all right, what were we gonna... Like, was the plan to... Like, I don't know, unless we were gonna kill him, what does it really matter? Do you know what I mean? We're just gonna be like, oh, you. You know what I mean? Really think about it. It's like, if you know, whoever. Let's say Aaron Rodgers was on the list. We're gonna not let him play? I don't know. This is feels like we didn't really have a plan there. We just wanted to see it, kind of like the burn book for Mean Girls. And then we were gonna just go about our day. Because it says a lot that we expected powerful people to be on the list. It kind of shows that we have no faith in them to begin with, right? So then, we might as well just treat them like they were on the list and get rid of them. Like, it just feels like... But Jeremy, I don't know why we needed a little bit more evidence that Lindsey Graham was shitty or something. I mean, like... I'm trying to be, like, a more... like chill person. I think I get carried away sometimes. Like, I'll overthink things and it gets me into this. I don't want to be a combative person, and I'm not combative outwardly, but in my head I'll be like, what does that mean? Or I will overanalyze the situation to a point where I'm having a bad time, right? Like, it can't even be called a restaurant. I went to a fast food, like, chicken spot. And I ordered, and they gave me my food. And I truly cannot remember if I asked for napkins or not. But the cashier, he gave me too many napkins. All right? He gave me a concerning, offensive amount of napkins. He gave me so many he gave me napkins, it was making a statement in my head as he was going, because he put, one napkin is not enough. If you get a meal and they give you one napkin, they're like, fend for yourself, right? 2 napkins might be enough. Maybe you're going to wipe your hands, you're going to wipe something down, whatever. 3 napkins is a perfect amount. 4 or 5 starts to be excessive. He gave me a clutch of napkin. He gave me what I can only describe as an unhoused amount of napkins. He gave me napkins like it was gonna be my blanket and my pillow tonight. He gave me, because he used the full width of his big ass hand to grab all these napkins and stuff them in the bag. There were so many napkins in the bag that if the bag had flipped, my food would have been safe, right? It was such a deeply offensive amount of napkin, because it just felt like he was saying, you can't take care of yourself. Like, he's like, yeah, it felt like he was saying, you gonna spill a lot. I can tell just by how you're standing that you spill. And I was talking to a friend about it. My friend was like, well, maybe, just maybe he recognized you and he was trying to give you the hookup. And I was like, okay, even if I'm trying to extend enough grace to not be offended and to think that my man likes my comedy, and so he's like, look, I don't have much, but what I got is these napkins. All right, so if you need anything, napkin-wise, I got you, all right? Napkin-wise, I stay ready, okay? I was like, nah, because he didn't, this is how I know he wasn't like a fan or something. He looked me dead in my eyes when he gave me all those napkins and he didn't smile. That was the most offensive. It's probably one of the most, it was a full middle finger using all his fingers. It was, the way that he was like, all right. deeply distressed. Okay, did y'all, by any chance, see the dude who jumped the judge? Okay, this is so great. Okay, look, if you have not seen it, if you haven't seen it, it's very quick. If you have not seen it, I'll try my best to bring you up to. Okay, so basically, I didn't know everything was happening. I had to read about it after I saw it. But in the video, you see a judge and what I think is a stenographer. And I knew something bad was gonna happen because when the video starts, the stenographer in the corner already got his mouth open, right? And so the stenographer is looking ahead and going, and that is because, I don't know how big this man is, but there is a man already in the air flying towards the judge, okay? Now, I don't know because of the angle, I don't know if he got a running start and started flying, or if he just flew from the defendant's stand. Like, because you know that table they got the defendants at, right? From the angle, it just looks like he jumped from there over, and then no judge's bench is eye level, all right, ever, okay? Which means he didn't just jump across and clear that space, he went up. And it is so sad that our first black superhero is this guy. Okay, so then he jumps over, he full Soulja Boy over the judge's bench, lands on her. Now, I knew he was gonna get her when I saw him in the air because she was getting out of the way too slow. Because I think I think in her mind, even she was like, he gonna bust his head on this bench trying to jump up here to get me. Because she was kind of cold with it, where she wasn't freaked out even though he was flying there, which makes me feel like this must have happened before. And most people don't make it. Like, most people don't clear it and then they bang their head on the bench, you know what I mean? Because for the bailiff the bailiff is nowhere to be found. He clearly jumped over the bailiff, right? Because the bailiff was probably like the stenographer was over here like, God dang. And so then he jumps up and lands on her. She goes down. They're both like under the bench for a second. Then the bailiff gets over there, and then I guess the stenographer, I don't know what this person's position was, but he was in a suit and he seemed very scared. They both start trying to fight this dude, so now this dude is whooping everybody's ass. Like, it's actually quite, like, in my mind I was like, is he on drugs right now? Because how do you fight from the ground 3 people as you get up? You don't even see that in the UFC, right? And you'll never believe, okay, so she was denying his probation and she was about to sentence him, which is when he jumped over the bench and attacked her, right? And she was sentencing him. His case was battery with severe bodily harm. He did battery at the battery case. And I don't know what the other situation was. I have no idea. But she was about to sentence him. And I don't know how much time he was about to get. But it sounded like she was about to be like, I'm going to have to give you 8 years. And then this man was like, I'd like life, please. I'm sort of done with this outside world. Let me go ahead and stay forever. It's genuinely insane. I think that's the first person we've ever seen as a collective society that is going to get 10 million years. So, like, that's absolutely astounding. Yeah, I mean, if anything, I'm interested in what's going to happen next. I don't know if they'll let cameras in for it, but the judge said, the judge was like, I want to see him on Monday
This Monday, she's like, I want to see him on Monday by any means necessary. She used a full Malcolm X line. Because she was like, I didn't get to finish my sentence. Oof.